Tell me this, Hayes. So my theory is that you see our defense from game to game, right? And some people are saying, well, if we're doing that against Duke, man, what's going to happen when we face Alabama or Texas or Oregon or Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is that every game there's a different game plan, like a fighter. If you got a fighter, he's not going to fight everybody the same way, right?
Okay.
So versus a Georgia or versus Alabama, we're going to do something different defensively.
Hopefully. We've been 5 weeks in a row. That's my only thing I'm saying, straight. I think that's what people are saying.
Trying a lot of different stuff out there now, Hayes. Here you go with this coach shit, this coach bitter shit.
That's what they call me, dog, coach.
Now they done tried a lot of different things out there now, bro. You know that, dog.
No, they tried a lot of different people out there doing the same things.
No, man, we done seen them drop 8. We done seen them drop 3. We done seen them go zone. Come on now, Hayes.
Yeah, but y'all seen them good.
Y'all see what coaches do to other coaches. You see this man?
Yes.
You see what they do?
That's what coaches do, bro. As coaches, we don't look for the good. We look for the mistakes because, as they always say, there's no perfect game. And your opponent is looking for your mishaps. So just through a trained eye, that's what you do. You're not trying to be negative. You're trying to find the mishap. You're not here to hip hooray. You're here to say, okay, hey, I won this game. I love it. But the first thing you're doing, even after a great win, the first thing you're doing is looking for your mistakes. Why? Because the guy you're playing next week is looking for the mistakes. That's what they're doing.
So they're not doing anything different?
Like, no, they are. No, they're doing stuff different.
Yeah, I know they are. I mean, when Meach picked that ball off, I think they were too deep, right? They had 2 safeties.
Yeah, they played cover 2 before. Yeah, they played cover 2. It looked like a 2-man almost. It looked like a 2-man. And I think it's not that they're doing things different. I think based on when I break down the good, bad, and uglies, and I look at those, I think it's the timing of when you do things. You know, it's not the fact that you don't do things different more than when you do things different. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Putting the apron on to make a salad is way different than putting the apron on when you're frying bacon. You get what I'm saying? You put the apron on, but you did it at the wrong time, dog.
So you watched the film, right? You broke it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Zaquan and those guys came in the fourth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it because the game was over, or they came in before that?
I can't tell you exactly when Zaquan. I know he made that great hit on the sideline. I can't tell you exactly. Yeah, I can't tell you exactly when they came in. And some of those things, you know, it's hard to tell who's in, who's out, unless you really know body types. Because you got to remember, we're looking at it from the side angle. We don't see their numbers and stuff. So you really don't know they're really in it until they make a tackle, to be very honest, because, you know, that's just how it is.
That was Zaquan coming out party, dog.
Yeah.
I believe that was I believe that was his coming out party, and I believe he owned Jaden Harris. He owned somebody's ass, boy. I think, dog. I saw him moving at Louisville, and I was like, man, he looks confident out there. He looks fluid out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see him show Johnny on the spot the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you heard Guidry talk about it. Guidry said, we're bringing him along on his time, not our time. A little coach speaking. I get it. I ain't mad at you. But, you know, it is what it is. I just think, like I've said before, when you have breakdowns, it's because of communication, right? And that's really what it is. And they get tunnel vision into their job. Like that play that I guess I could call it viral. It was like 24,000 views on Twitter. I took it out of the good, bad, and ugly, you know, to kind of promote it. Bro, the corner is like this. The other dude is literally 3 feet from him, 3 yards from him. And he never says, hey, somebody need to cover this dude. Like, so those are the things that we're talking about. I don't think it's necessarily always play calling. It's sometimes players got to be players also. You know what I mean? Because I know Lance Guidry said, hey, when we call this defense, we need to cover the number 2 receiver. I know they coached it. I would love to hear the explanation behind that particular play breakdown and why things were like, who was supposed to be where. He probably won't say it publicly, But if you ever get a chance to just pull them to the side, I would love to hear why. What was the mishap in that play?
I ask him all the time. I ask him about breakdowns and plays.
And what does he say?
He explained it extensively. He explained the end zone play versus Florida State when 19 was doing this, and nobody shifted, and they just ran the damn pick play or whatever the fuck it was, and scored a touchdown. He explains it extensively.
What did he say? Because I didn't see it. What did he say? You remember?
He was telling them this mean roll. He was telling Meach to roll. Meach was in the box and Meach didn't see him. He said he called it banjo. They usually banjo roll. But basically he was saying they communicate like that, switch off like that all the time. This time they didn't see each other. It didn't work.
Right. And so therefore there's a piece of communication, meaning he need to call his name. Meach. You got to grab his attention. And I knew that was what it was. What he was saying was roller coverage. I mean, you roll over to him and I'm going to stay back, because that's really what he did. He stayed back. Meach stayed where he was. And so, I mean, those things do happen in football. They happen on the greatest, to the GOAT of Nick Saban and all. You see blown coverages all the time. The problem is you can't see them a lot in one game on the same team, or it won't work out well for you.
Hey, listen, man. Okay. Let's have a Miami moment right here, hey, for a second.
Talk to her.
I don't understand how people are livid with Guidry, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's calling a defense that has got us to 9-0. That defense has done some things in crunch time, right?
Mm-hmm.
To help us become 9-0. Because Cal doesn't happen without that defense totally shutting down Cal's run game. The whole game. Mm-hmm. That defense in the beginning of the Duke game gave us a takeaway. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, see, it's like this. I expect more from my offense. You know how you got two kids, one's a straight A student, and the other one can't get off a C? And every time the straight A student brings home a B, you like, Kerry, what you doing? We don't get B's around here. Then you go talk to Derek and you like, Derek, man, I know you can do better than this. Derek got all C's, right? I expect more from my offense, though. I do. Our offense putting up 50 points. I get it. But sometimes our offense becomes a little lax. It becomes a little lax. And we do things we don't have to do. And so when the defense gives you the ball back in the first quarter, come on, it's time. Let's blow somebody out.
Yeah,
we go 3 and out, or 6 and out. You know what I'm saying? And you say to yourself, man, dog, listen, the running back was wide open, Cam. Like, why are we doing this, dog?
Yeah, right. So you have those mishaps on both sides. The problem is offensively, you dictate and I always said this, and Chip Kelly actually was really famous for saying this. When he was at Oregon, he said, I run 120 plays. If I'm right 7 times, that's 49 points. I should win the game. Think about it. The percentage is a complete F. 7 times out of 120 plays, but it results in 49 points. Right?
Right.
And so therein lies the difference. So on defense, think about this. With Cam missing that throw, we still put up 53 points. With Cam throwing that interception, we still put up 53 points with such and such. So on offense, the mistakes can happen and be big, but you can also overcome them with big plays. On defense, big plays, for example, Louisville, get you in a shootout. Think about out of all of the plays they had, how many were big plays? Probably 10%, but those 10% turn into 45 points. And so that's why defense is so got to be on point at all times. And it is a disadvantage.
But isn't it the same thing? You're the defensive coordinator, right? And you got Cam Ward on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're calling the defense as such, right? You may be a little bend and break. You may be a little, hey, listen, we're not showing that zone until ACC championship. You may do things like this. Oh, we're going to stick with Jaden Harris. We're going to stick with our personnel. These guys are trying to go to the next level. We're not going to press, right? They can get it done. Yeah, we having some mishaps, but they're getting it done. We undefeated. right? Because you know you got this guy on offense. Now, if it's TVD, you balls to the wall. Hey, you tell your kids, listen, man, we may have to get 7 points today. right? It's a different thing.
But for me, Street, I've never believed in saving anything because who we're playing away. This is my personal philosophy. Yeah. I'm never going to a gunfight with one bullet because I'm the best shooter at a showdown. I'm never going to put one bullet in my gun because if I happen to miss, I'm dead, right? So I'm going to have what I have in my playbook. Now, so when people say, "Oh, we're not showing everything," because to me, if I'm in a game and I'm about to lose it, I can always come up with other plays and schemes later because I'm alive. In college football, we clearly see a loss can kill you in the ACC. Imagine if we have a loss, we might be the team that's out. So I'm saying all that to say, when I go to the gunfight, I'm there to win it. I can always create more bullets. I can always get more gunpowder later. But if I'm in Cal, I can't be like, well, this Cal, we're going to play just 2 coverages and we down 25 points. No, I'm just going to stay with our 2 because remember, we got to play Louisville later. Like, no, I'm going in with the guns blazing. And when I'm finished and I ain't got no more bullets, I throw the guns too. And then I can always go back and get more stuff.
Well, just different philosophy. I know for a fact Guidry saves stuff. I know that for a fact. He coached for the long season. And AJ, remember AJ from Central? Like he used to talk about the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I played Northwestern 1 time. I know I got to play them 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
The first time, you know what I'm saying? The first time is just kind of like dress rehearsal,
right?
And so it's just different philosophies, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that trick play. When do you use it? Do I show it now? Like, for example, Miami didn't have to use that trick play against Florida State, but they did. Why? I don't know. They could have kept it until they get into a situation where they may have had to score, but they decided to use it. They didn't have to, but they did, right?
Yeah.
That was them shooting a bullet and saying, hey, we can come up with other trick plays later. Now, why they used it, I personally would not have used it at that particular time because you didn't need it. And I think that's the difference. When people look at games, do I throw my entire playbook and we up by 40? No, you don't, because you don't have to. But when I'm down by whatever, I'm trying to do what I can to get back in this thing and win it. But again, that is a philosophical, thing by coach. So I get it. And guess what? Like, to your point, Guidry's doing what we got to do to win. We 9-0. We ain't been this far. We ain't been 9-0 since 2017, right?
Do you think you was a defensive coordinator? Do you think he's going in there Monday morning saying, listen, we not, because he says it in the press conference all the time. Hey guys, listen, we 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
Almost is like it's a evolution, it's an ever going thing. It's a chess match. It's a 15-game chess match of us trying to figure it out and get out of these games alive. It's not like it's not like turn it on, turn it off, our defense shut down. It's kind of like chess, and we keep getting out of these games alive.
Yeah, but to me, I look at it like we're getting out the games alive, but we're playing Russian roulette, and eventually it's gonna go bang. That's how I look at it. Eventually it's going to go bang. And it could have gone bang VTech. It could have gone bang Cal. Maybe it could have gone bang Louisville. Florida State in the hands. Duke. It was looking a little shaky. And then we were like, oh, let's take this one out. We good. We got plenty of points. But I think that's the kind of, from a coach's perspective, that's kind of your philosophy. Or again, my philosophy is, I don't want it to go bang. I want to clearly win if I can. And knowing that I have the personnel to win, I should be beating these people. I ain't say you got to beat them by 1,000, but also shouldn't have a photo finish against VTech. And I shouldn't have to come back from 25 against a Cal team that's not very good. They're okay, but I don't think they're very good in that sense. And then the Louisville, we're in a shootout with, where I think in the fourth quarter, we just end up hitting the gas. They got the late score to be down by whatever. But yeah, I think we played a little close to the vest. And this is what I do want to say, Street. Things for defenses get harder as the season goes on because now people have current tape on you. When we play Florida, Yeah, Guidry was there last year, but our personnel was different. There was no Cam Kitchens. There's no James Williams. There is a lot of these people that's missing on that side of the ball. So they don't know how to truly prepare for you. They can look at the spring game, and I understand why people keep that vanilla. So I get that because you don't want to give them current. But as you play games and start revealing your playbook, these coaches are good at breaking down film. And here's the thing about offensive street. Their playbook is infinite. Think about that play I just talked about. And I missed this myself, even in the good, bad, and ugly. That play I was talking about was an unbalanced formation, meaning you had a center, guard, tight end. Then you had number 8. Then you had number 8 behind them. You had the number 3 receiver, not his jersey number, but the number 3 receiver, the number 2 that was uncovered, the number 1 in an empty formation. They motion 17 across. What I'm saying is, as an offensive guy, your formations and your plays are only limited to 2 basic rules: the amount of people on the line of scrimmage, right? And that's it. And the snap of the ball. I could run a route like this. We saw Xavier Restrepo do it for the touchdown. He ran here, went there, ran a post. My man fell down. He came back. Tell me what route that is when you're throwing the ball against air. That is no route. That's just getting open. Because Cam Ward back there scrambling around. It ain't like, hey, once you run your post route and you finish, you got to stop and you dead. No, that rule don't exist. So offenses do have the advantage when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying?